Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the YouTube channel that's gonna get an Emmy. Probably gonna have to buy one on eBay, but I mean, I'm sure that Billie Eilish girl is gonna get a drug addiction here before long, and I'll probably be able to buy one of her Emmys or something. Does she have an Emmy? I don't know, but I might get a music award or something. Who knows? But anyway, guys, how is everybody doing? And speaking of music, it's been a while since I've actually talked about music, and I get so many questions. Where do you get your music? Where do you get your music? Where do you get your music? Blah, blah, blah. And a few different places, honestly. On Facebook, I'm actually friends with a lot of people that rebase music. And I would say out of all of them, the person I'm actually closest to is DJ Rusticles. And Chris is a great guy. I talk to Chris a lot. And he does really, really good edits. I know a lot of people don't like his intros. They don't really bother me because when I hear that intro, I know that it's going to be a really good track. And yesterday, I really noticed something because I've been getting a lot of I've been doing some requests for songs that I've been getting on TikTok. And if you do TikTok, man, you kind of have to do song requests because a song can beat. I mean, it can just be an edit that DJ Rusticles does that is slamming stupid. And he did one, one in particular that comes to mind is that song I Touch Myself by the Vinyls from like the 1990s. That song, that would be the ultimate float song because the bass in it never stops. I mean, you got to have good electrical to keep up with it, but if you got good electrical, you're on point. And that song, no matter how impressive your system looks on TikTok, you're only going to get a few views with that song. I know I did it. But then you can jump over to Apple Music and do non-rebased version. A song I did in comparison was No Hands by Waka Flocka, and over 500,000 views. But DJ Rusticles, he does most of his music at like -7 dB. And Apple Music, that shit's like 0. So, same volume, my shit was getting stinky. Just because of Apple Music being dirtier and recorded at a higher dB level. And that's stuff you kind of have to watch out for. That's why I don't trust a lot of rebasers. It's like there's one, I don't know the guy, but I tried a couple of his tracks. It's like DJ Jesus something. And I think this dude definitely rebases above like -5 dB because everything I tried by him, it seemed louder in here, but God, the subs would get so stinky and I couldn't turn the volume on the head unit as high, which was kind of an indication that he's going at like 0 dB. Tried others like Maximum Bass Music, and I kind of get the same thing, And then, like, some of the Maximum Bass, that should be like 50 hertz track. It's like definitely tap out tracks. Decaf, I get the same thing with decaf music. A lot of it's like really high hertz. I can't be playing 50 hertz and 40 hertz, is the low note. I can't get down with it, but be careful when you get your music. That's why a lot of people blow stuff. They just don't realize jumping from rebaser to rebaser that they're going to have that issue. And it is a big issue because not everybody records at the same level. And there's a really good group on Facebook for rebase music. It's called Slap of the Bass. And Nick Fleming, DJ Slick Flick, he does really good edits too. I believe it's maybe his group, and I've asked in there before, and they kind of tried to bash me over it. I'm like, why do some of you guys record your music above -5 dB when that's kind of the industry standard. And the comments I got was, who set the industry standard? Well, like 95% of the bass heads I know all use a negative 540 hertz track to set gains with. So we would automatically expect you guys to follow suit with like Rusticals and Siren going below that, negative 6, 6.5. But they all wanted to make a big deal out of it. So I don't know. It's like, if they don't want to kind of conform to where all the bass heads set their shit at, then don't play their music. That's kind of my motto, but they tried to make a big deal out of it, which made no sense to me. And like me personally, when I set my gains, I use a negative 5 dB 40 hertz track. When I run through the lanes, I burp a 0 dB. We clipping like hell in the lanes, but it is what it is. Me personally, like my favorite rebasers, definitely Rusticals, DJ Slick Flick, Got 160s, man. Jacob Morris, he used to rebase under the name Got 160s, and his music was the shit. I could actually turn my volume up a click higher with his edits than anybody else's. It's like they were that clean. The mids and highs were that clean. The bass was that clean, and it would literally get stupid for giving demos. But he's just got so much going on anymore that he don't rebase a whole lot. I mean, I ain't seen Jacob do a song in years. So DJ Siren does good edits. Other than that, I mean, it's kind of like really spotty who you can trust. I've had a couple other people do a track for me here and there to test, and it's just not what I would listen to daily or trust a demo to, if that makes any sense, I try to keep a demo folder on my USB drive. That way, when I go to shows, I can just jump in that folder and I know every track in there. And then speaking of music, everybody's like, try this song, it slams. Try this song, it slams. Try this song. Just because the song slams in your system does not mean it will in mine. And this is something I learned years ago because, I've said it before, my cousin turned me into a bass head. He was the first person I ever heard with subwoofers. I was really young, and believe it or not, at the time, subwoofers were unheard of. When he got his, it was kind of like he used this one stereo shop all the time. They did a big system in his car, and they're like, hey, we got something new in. Do you want to try it? And he's like, well, hell yeah. So, but with his system, and we're talking the later part of the 80s here, when subwoofers first hit big, he always had one song that he would play when he really wanted to show off. And, I come to realize that's because it was the one song that sounded the best in his shit. Now, you got to think, back then, you couldn't just go out and get rebased music, and there was very, very little music that had low bass in it at all, but he had that one song. Just like these days, we all have that one song. And we might have multiples, because now with bass music, you can find a lot of good songs that sound really impressive, but there's still only that one song, In here, believe it or not, it is Sir Mix-a-Lot My Hoopty. I don't know who rebased it. I got it early on with my introduction to bass music, digging through all the folders on OneDrives and everything. But I've always been a fan of that song, and I downloaded it, and it doesn't have an artist tied to the track of it. I don't know who did the song. It's pretty clean to edit. It ain't 100% on, like, spot on with the track, but just the bass in it is insane in here. So, like, it hits hard as hell. It's windy. It's everything that I like. So, yeah, that's my one song. But anyway, guys, be careful with your downloading music. Always, like, test a track, turn up to your normal volume level on head unit, and slowly roll your bass in, listen, roll up a little bit more on the knob, listen, roll up a little bit more. Because, if you're set at -5, you're going to grab a track that is done at like 0 dB and you could easily blow something. Stay away from streaming. You would not believe how often I get people like send me a damn link to YouTube, like try this out, and it's a bass boosted song, which we don't screw with bass boosted, but yeah, they'll send me a link to a damn YouTube channel or YouTube video that's bass boosted. There again, you know, we play negative 5 dB and lower. Bass boosted is where a lot of times they'll take the track and just boost the bass up to +5. You know, no shit. They'll just like enhance the bass in it to plus dB level, and that's pushing you straight into clipping. So we stay away from that shit. Not to mention YouTube, like the files are so compressed that the bit rate on them is so low and the quality's so low that without the enhanced bass, you could blow something easily just from the track being dirty itself. I hope this helps some of you guys, like with music. Like I said, my favorites: DJ Rusko, Slick Flick, Got 160s, and DJ Siren. Them four, I can usually always trust that their music is gonna be clean. Now, sometimes DJ Rusticles, he is guilty of this. He's my boy, but he's guilty. He will list a track, say is 20 hertz to 32 hertz. And if you have the app and you look down in the notes, it'll say lowest bass note, like 15 hertz. So even though it's listed as 20 to 32, it will dip down a little lower. But I haven't had any issues playing his music at all. I mean, everything's always been solid. So, all right, guys, I hope that helps some of you all today. As always, peace out, bass on, and happy Yule.